Alrighty, guys, we're back. So, a couple of things. We got all this set up and we're processing this. We're out of fluids at this point, um, which is fine. That's what we expected. We're going to have to ship fluids up and what have you, but we got these set up. One of the things I did, if you notice, I moved these over by 2 cells. Remember how I said I was going to respect this distance so that we could run the... Well, what I forgot is it takes about a cell and a half, so a large cell and a small cell, to hook them up to these. So when I ran these, I didn't leave space here, so I moved these over so I have space. Minor stuff. Next thing, I realized in looking at what I have here for science that I have 25 of these astronomic science packs that are just sitting here. Well, that will give us enough to do the X-ray telescope. Now, it would give us enough to do some of these other cargo safety, rocket reusability, rocket survivability, but we'll get to those. But this will give me the X-ray telescope, which is more research that I can start doing once I, build them and I start making the stuff for them and stuff. So why don't we go ahead and bang that out real quick? So we're just going to grab, I know it's in here somewhere. We're just going to grab this and throw it down temporarily, okay? And then we're going to get this science, and we need 20 reds, 20 greens, 20 blues. So blues, greens, reds, those and those, right? So let's go ahead and get that cooking. Might as well bang it out, get it done. Now, that being done, we are on Novice. We are in the process of loading this rocket up with more fluid and what have you to ship up here. We're working on it. So we're going to start shipping stuff up. Now, we have other stuff on other planets that it is time that we might as well start getting these ready. So let's go through. Moss Garden has the Vitamelange. We don't need that yet. We're not far enough to do anything with it. So we're going to leave that one be. Vionette has Cryonite. Now, Cryonite we are already making. Right? There we go. Finished the telescope, right? Now we can make that sucker. And this is what got me to thinking about it, because we're going to need aeroframes for that and what have you. So we're making the cryonite, and we're already loading that in a rocket, because we were loading it in a rocket to go down to Moss Garden for the Vitamelange. Now, how these 3 items got in there, I don't know. They must have been dropped on the belt or something and got picked up. But we're going to let that finish loading, and then we're going to send a rocket of that up to us. Okay? So we're going to change this to Claudius, and we're going to change this to Perma 1 raw material 1. Oh, that was the other thing. I renamed those pads, since I've got 2 of them now, what have you. We're going to name that to landing. We're going to send that to landing pad 1. We're going to prep it to go. We're not going to launch it until that sucker's full. There's no sense in doing so. But in the meantime, let's move on. So Sanctinum. Sanctinum is making 2 things. It's making beryllium plates, and it is making aeroframe poles. Now, we actually need both of these. But I don't know how much of each we need, what have you. So what I thought I would do, just to start out, was we would send a half a rocket of each. Right? So what we're going to do is we are going to, these are already passive provider warehouses, so we don't have to do anything down here. We just have to set up the requesters. So if we go up here, what is we got? Okay, solar panel. Yeah, that's the other thing we got to get back to, is we've got to get back to setting up our nuke plants. Okay, so we are going to put in 2 requester chests. 1, 2. And we're going to put in inserters. And then we're going to wire them up. We can't wire them up until they get here. There we go. Now we're going to wire them up. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Right? And we're going to tell this, request beryllium plates. And we're going to tell it request. It doesn't really matter because it's going to fill until it can't fill, is what we're going to do. So there's beryllium plates. We're going to tell this one aerospace frames, aero frames, whatever. Right? Now, here's where it gets interesting. This will hold 500 slots, right? So if we do 500 of each, these stack to 100. These only stack to 50. If right? Is that? Why is that saying? Are we not in the? Let me get down here and see something. Those are aeroframes, right? So that is aeroframes. Aeroframe poles. Let's go back up here. Okay, aeroframe poles. So now these stack at 50. These stack at 100. Right? Yeah, they stack at 200. So here's the kicker. What ratio is this to this? To get half and half, right? And we could do the algebra to do it. You're never going to use algebra after high school, right? Okay. Guess what, guys? There's algebra involved here. So, let's see. If it's 500, this is... We'll see in a second. It should start bringing these up now. Okay, we got 300 on the way. Let's verify that this is 50 per stack before we go any further. We'll let this bring the 2,000 and fill the little chest. I don't care. Let's see what's in a stack of these. I think it was 50. Yep, it's 50. So it's 4 to 1, or basically, right? So we need to have 4 times as many of these as we have of these. So if this is 500, if we do 100 stacks of that and 400 stacks of that, let's see, 400 is 2,000, 100 is 2,000, right? So if we do 2,000 total of each, that should give us what we need. All right, so if we go barrel plates and we say turn that on if this is less than 2,000, and turn this on if this is less than 2,000. There we go. Now, something else I want to look at. I think we looked at this before. Alright, let's do it over here. These. Airframes and beryllium, we can craft them anywhere. So we could actually be crafting these down there on planet and then eventually send them up. Now, what are their usage? What did we figure out their usage was? Bulkheads, space transport belts, low density structures. Alright, so eventually we're going to want to be manufacturing those. And we're probably going to want to do it right here on planet. I mean, we've got the items, so we ought to be manufacturing them. I don't know if we're manufacturing them down here or not yet or not. If we're not, we ought to be. I mean, that only makes sense, right? We could add that right here. Why don't we do that? We're not going to ship them up right now because, you know, obviously we're not making them yet, so we don't have enough to ship. But eventually we can start shipping them suckers, and we can make them in. Well, we can make them in this for now. And we'll do 1, 2. And then we'll do 1, 2. There's what we should have done. We should have done that. Right. That's what we should have done. We should have done that right there. And then do... Oops. Shit. We still screwed up. Because we want to go... We want to move them down by 1. And then we want this. You know what? Let's do this one better even. There. Will that one reach both of them? No, it won't reach both of them from either side. We'll just use up the extra poles. That's life. All right, so that's going to make... Oh, we're not able to make them yet? Maybe we're not able to make them yet. Maybe that's why we weren't making them, because we're not able to make them yet. Huh. Alright, well, maybe we're not able to make them yet. Maybe that's why we weren't so stupid after all. Alright, let's go here, and see something. Oh, we're not able to make them yet. Dummy us. So it doesn't matter. We're a number of technologies away. We're that away and that away and that away. Okay. I'm stupid. Not a problem. So we can get rid of this. Because we're being stupid. So let's get rid of this. Actually, since we're already requesting them, it'll go right into the... We're okay if we do that. Let's just do that. Let's not even mess with it. Alright, so we're not ready to make those yet. That's why we don't have them. Alright, so... that will fill that one up. And that'll give us 50-50 of those. Right? Even though... it'll give us more stacks of one than the other. It'll still give us 50-50 on those. We'll be able to ship them up. Alright, Nilaus, next one. Now, on Nilaus, we are making what? We're making two things, right? We are making... I thought we were making two things. We are making two things. We are making chromium plates, and we are making vulcanite. Now, chromium plates. What do we make with that? Chromium cable, which I don't know that we have the technology to make yet. Efficiency modules, conductivity data, that. Chromium cable was plastic bars, but with something we can make down here. Now, can we make it? I don't think we can make it yet. We cannot make it yet. It does not look like we can make it yet. So we are okay on that. Which means we probably, yeah, because we can't make the cables. Can't make the cables, can't make that. Can't make the cables, can't make that. Tesla gun ammo we can make, but we gotta make it in space anyway. That we're not ready for yet. Alright, so we can, just like that, these stack at 100, these stack at 100, so it's 50-50, right? A rocket will take 500, so 250 at 100 is 2,500 apiece, right? 100 times 250 is 2,500. So, if we do 2 requester chests, because I'm pretty sure they are in... No, they're not. They're in just regular warehouses. Frack. That's okay. That is okay. Because... I think we can... No, we can't, because the warehouses are bigger. Blah, blah, blah. Kiss my butt. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. We can still do this. Because we can do this and this. And then we can do... that. And that. Kiss my butt. Oh, we still need to do this. And then we can go here to here to here. And we tell that one Vulcanite 2500. And we tell that one Hominium 2500. Right? Now, are we making these here? I do not know. We will find out. We have to power them, though. If we are making them. And I don't know if we are or not. We'll find out in a minute. If it doesn't supply it, then we will just have to put down stack inserters and go from there. And that'll be fine. But that'll load that one. Right? So then that's a loss. That leaves us Novice, which we really don't care about. Novice, we're already loading stuff on this rocket anyway. Now, the problem being, this rocket's getting a little bit of everything. We're not just sending up fluids because we're already loading this rocket. We're going to send it to the fluid thing, and it's going to unload the fluids. And we may have screwed the pooch on that one too. This is something we're going to have to get used to. No, because all of it's going to go to this one anyway. There is no fluids coming through on this yet. We're okay. Alright, let's pull this up. Dump those back in. Whoa, did we still have left over? Oh, we should have 5 left over. Yeah, 5. And we'll put that back in there. That'll be that. Okay. Yeah, so down here on Novice, this rocket has extra pieces parts in it because we're sending the parts up. Now, technically, we should be sending them on 2 different rockets, but we're trying to be efficient and save shit. Now, this is cool that that works. Alright, Merlin, you. Now, that should have been Merlin, right? We have no more vacant stars. Now, the next time this is ready to launch, we'll see what it does. Because I don't know whether what it'll do when there's no more stars. So there we go. We just gotta wait for that one to load up. We can send that up. We're gonna send it up to the fluid pad. Perma 1 fluid landing pad number 1 is where that one's gonna go. So Moss Garden, we don't have anything coming up. Vionet, we've got stuff coming up. Alaz, we got stuff coming up. And we're going to... Okay. So, no, we're not making them there. That's fine. Plop down a stack inserter. And that will start loading. That's going to go to... Perma 1, raw material 2. Okay? Vionet should be going Perma 1, raw material 1. Alaz is going permanent raw material 2. Sanctimonium. Are we sending stuff? Okay, so this one is filling. Are we what? We out of stuff? No, see, we're not out of stuff to ship. Why did it stop? Oh! We did our math way wrong. Alright. We did our math wrong by a factor of 10. Alright, so this one's not set to where it's going to go. So we will go Claudius Orbit, raw material 1. So we've got one going to 1, one going to 2, and one going to 1, right? We don't have anything there. Okay, so Novice is going to fluid. Moss Garden, we don't have anything coming. Vionet is coming to raw material 1. Alaz is going to raw material 2. Sanctimony going to raw material 1. Taser, we don't have anything on Taser yet. Taser's on our list to go to. Fornox is on our list to go to because we need erudite. And we need... Well, we already got holmium. We don't need to go here. We're making holmium on Alaz. So we don't need to go to Taser. We do need to go to Fornax because we need the erudite. Alright, so there we go. We've got them set up. We're not going to launch them until they're full. But now we have them prepped to come up here. We just have to wait on them. And we did our research. So now, let us look and see what we can build with those researches that we just did. So we now have space telescope, or we have a telescope that we can build. We have to wait because we have to do multispectral mirrors, which we have to do up here. And then we have to build it up here This we have to build up here. We need multispectral mirrors. Everything else is coming up to us. This we have to build. We need multispectral mirrors. Everything else is coming up to us. So now I think we are at the point we need multispectral mirrors. So, multispectral mirrors can be made one of two ways. They can be made low-density structured glass, iridium plate, which we don't have, lubricant, and chem gel. Or heat shield low-density structured glass, sheet steel, steel plate, lubricant, chemical gel. Okay, lubricant, chemical gel we have up here. Steel plate, glass, low density, and heat shields we need to ship up. Right? Right. So, heat shielding, low density structures, glass, and steel plate. Alright, well, that's why we have planets. So, now, is there anything in this rocket? No, there's nothing in this rocket. There's nothing in this rocket. And we're not going to go take a planet in the near future. So, let us do this. Let us... 1, 2, 3. Not enough room to do all of them there. Okay. 4. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to need heat shielding, low density structures, glass, and steel plate. And we're going to want this to go from here to here. And then we're going to go from here. Really, we could have just gone all the way around. I just didn't want a wire going there and being stupid. Alright, so we said heat shielding. Heat shielding. Low density structures. And I'm doing these separately so that I can regulate the inserters. Glass and steel plate. Glass. And steel plate. Okay. So we can do 500 stacks total. Here's where it gets interesting. We need more glass. We need twice as much glass as we need steel plate, and then we need one of each of the others. Then it becomes a juggling act. So we need 3 to 1 and 6 to 1. So for every one of those, we need 6 of those and 3 of those. But at the same time, these don't all stack the same. So that's 50, that's 100, I'm pretty sure, that's 50. That's 100 or 200, I don't remember what off the top of my head right now. It's 2:30 in the morning, guys. So that's 100, that's 50s, that's 50s. So 50s, 50s. And steel plates is, we'll see in a minute. I'm pretty sure it's either 100 or 200, I don't remember. I wish you could hover over it and it would tell you. But we'll know in just a second. Okay, it's 100. So this is 50, 50, 100. So that almost does that math for us. as far as stacks. If we have an equal number of stacks of each of those, we'll still be short on steel by a little bit. So 1, 2, 3. So if we did 100 stacks of each, would be 300. Yeah, so we do 100 stacks, 100 stacks, 100 stacks is 300. 400, 500 is 2 stacks. Right? Well, not 100 stacks, 100 stacks, 100 stacks. So 100 is 500. 50 times 100. 50 times 100 is 5,000. So if we do heat shield less than 5,000, right? 100 stacks times 50, yeah. And we do this less than 5K. And if this is 100, 100 times 100 is 10,000, right? And this is 100 times 2 is 200. So 20,000. I think I'm doing this. We'll see. So that's that's 10,000, 20,000, 5,000, and 5,000. So that should get us ballpark close. Like I say, it's 2:30 in the morning. My math is not. My phone is dead, so I can't do it on the calculator. But that'll get us started on that one, and then that will have us building those. And we can send this one to Claudius Orbit, right? And raw materials too. Oh, and speaking of which, I went back and I looked at that video when my rocket blew up. I did set it right. It was going where it was supposed to go. What happened was, there is a percentage chance of it landing. And I just luck of the draw, I hit that percentage, and it didn't land. That's life. Now, let's go back up here and look at something. Because there are also raw materials that we need up here. So we're running a little low on sulfur. We are definitely running low on red circuits. And that is something we need for our other production. I think we needed red circuits, green circuits, barrels. So we're going to have to sit down and figure out what all we need. We got enough rough data substrates for now. So those are things we're going to have to bring up too at some point. what else do we need for this? We need, okay, we're going to have some heat shields coming up, some low density structures coming up, airframe poles we got coming up, glass we got coming up. So these things, we'll have the stuff to make them coming up. We'll just rob Peter to pay Paul on that, and we'll balance stuff out later. And what we'll do is we'll probably just figure out how much to store up here, and then we'll see how much shy of that storage we are. So now, like I say, we need, because we needed it to make these plates and stuff. So we need, we're going to need copper, we're going to need iron plate, we're going to need red circuits, and we're going to need sulfur. I think was for one of the fluids, wasn't it? Yeah, it was well, now we got, see, now we got cryonite rod, though. So we don't need it for that. We don't need the sulfur anymore, because we'll have the cryonite rod now. And we're going to be shipping cryonite rod up. So we don't need the sulfur anymore. We'll process the sulfur just to get through it. Or maybe we'll just keep it. But we don't need it anymore. We're going to need the iron plates. We're going to need the iron plates for this, though. We're still going to need the iron plates. The copper we're going to need for that. So we're still going to need red circuits, green circuits, copper, and iron plate. But we won't need the sulfur. So maybe what we do, we got another rocket here, nothing in it, but we want to, you know what, we don't want to send that one up yet. We don't want to send that one up yet. We need to send that over and do power plants. We got to get our power plants started on our other planets. We're not going to use this rocket up and fill it up and then not have it available. We'll let these ones do their thing. This one's almost full. This one, you know, it's working on itself. We will send these two up to the space station, and we will send this one out to the other planets to set up nuke plants. So next episode, I think we're going to set nuke plants up in our other locations. And I think we may well do that on site. We might do that on site. Let me think about it. I don't know if I want to remote send these rockets up and have them set up the plants. I may want to go up there and physically do it. Just, I don't know, I get a little more control in what I'm doing, because I don't have to wait for bots to put down stuff. We'll see. But there we go, guys. We are packing to send our first materials up here to get our process going. In the interim, where is it? I may set up. Maybe we'll do it right now. Do we got iron and copper? Do we have iron and copper? We don't. We don't have any iron and we don't have any copper. We never send any back up. All right, I was going to say we can go ahead and bang out the setup for this thermal fluid. We don't have iron and copper, so we can't really use up the that we have, the sulfur that we have. So maybe we will just wait and do it the new way, with the cosmic water and the heavy oil. Instead of having to add 3 ingredients, we'll add 1 ingredient and be done with it. And then this is just a matter of cooling that down. We got to make the loop to cool that down. Is all we got to do for these three. So this we're making. This we're making. These are byproducts of the process. Now, we may still put them in our tank farm just to be able to keep things organized. I don't know. I haven't decided. Then we got to start looking at all of this stuff and how we make it. And this stuff, I think, is all made using observation frames, which are made here. And we're gonna need oh, we got coal. We're gonna have to bring coal up. Looks like we're gonna have to bring coal up. We have two different ways of making this: beryllium glass, coal, and light oil. Steel plate, coal, glass, and light oil. So 11110. 11110. Either way, we're going to need coal. And then these are made with cold fluid. Microwave observation frame. And this is blank observation frame, cold fluid, blank observation frame, cold fluid. So different temperatures of fluid. And multispectral mirrors. Boy, that's going to really be a pain in the ass to make. All right, well, so now we know. These, we're going to have to bring coal up. We have to bring coal up. We're already bringing glass up. We're already bringing steel up. Now we're going to have to bring coal up. So we're going to look like we're going to have to bring coal, iron, and copper up. So we're going to have to start looking at setting up, you know, multiple rockets to bring stuff up. And we'll just basically have to have a storage place of each of those items up here. And then, you know what? Fine. Let's do something here real quick before this gets too full. We're going to call for man, I hate to use up that many resources, but you know what? If we got it up here, we can use them later. We're going to call for them. And we're going to put them on board and ship them up. Because then we can start getting... What I think we're going to work towards is getting all of our raw storage set up. Get all of our items of raw storage set up, and if we do one storage of each one, right, then we can track what we're low on, and we can send a request and have it shipped up. I think that's what we'll do. We're going to set up all of these. We're going to monitor them, and then we'll be able to send them up as they get low. There we go. All right, turn that back off. There we go. Turn it off. Let that fill up. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to set up basically a depot up here. You know, this is going to be our fluid depot. And then we're going to have to set up a materials depot. Maybe up here. Since those are there, we'll set our materials depot up here maybe. And then that will give us all of our raw materials that we can input and do with what we need. and we'll just make a list, and we'll make a warehouse for each one, and we'll fill that fucker up. And then if it just sits there, it just sits there, but it'll be available. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna set up a materials depot. So next episode, we're gonna go set up our nuke plants at our other bases, and then we'll go from there. By then, knock on wood, those rockets will be ready to be sent up, and we'll get that all in storage, and that'll be that too. All right, guys, you take care, and I'll talk to you later. I feel like we're finally starting to make space progress, so that's kind of cool. All right, bye.